And we got a lot to cover today. But I'm going to do something at least at the beginning of this. We got all our regular stuff coming up, but at the very beginning, Dave, I would say is, and he'll tell you this, like he's a share. He's maybe an overshare, but that's him. You know everything about Dave. It's a trait that he has, and it can be endearing. It brings you in, and it lets you know what's going on in his life. I wanted to share something about mine today it's very personal, very touching, very hard to talk about, but let's go for it. I'm going to talk about it because it means the world to me. On Friday, I was at the hospital. That's why I wasn't here with my family. And unfortunately, on Friday, my mother passed away. And it truly was a difficult time. It's been a difficult time, but I wanted to take this time to basically honor her, talk about her, how much she meant to me, to our family, and really the impact she had on this world. We all get a limited amount of time, and hopefully, we know there's ups, we know there's downs. Hopefully we are here to make the world a better place. And she definitely did that. And to kind of put that in perspective, I'd like to brag on my mom a little bit. She grew up in Southern California, a couple different locations down there, San Diego, and ultimately went to UCLA. There you go. There's part of the fandom that you pass on, your parents pass on to you. Both my mom and my dad went to UCLA. They met each other there. Actually met at, I think the story is traffic school, believe it or not. And my dad fell for my mom there, and anyway, that all worked out for those two for sure. But she went to undergrad, graduated UCLA, started with her life, married, had 2 sons, my older brother, Matt, myself, and got onto her work life. And she worked for the phone company for, I think it was about 15, 17, 19 years, something like that. In the meantime, during that time, things went astray with her and my dad. They went their different directions, which does happen. They got divorced. So my mom then got remarried, and a few years later, and now had a blended family. So she has a new husband, a stepson, a stepdaughter, and her two boys, my older brother Matt and myself, and we were the younger part of the equation. And so now, all along, she grew up as a good athlete, a likable person. Everybody just liked to be around my mom. And she was she remembered always having a dream and a goal of wanting to become a doctor. And she was not going down that path, obviously graduated and went to onto the workforce, like I said, working for the phone company. And I know the part of the story, part of the lore that she tells, she remembers looking back at some paperwork, maybe a diary or some wishes and goals, and saw that at one point and said, you know what? I remember wanting to be a doctor. I'm going to do this. And so while with a blended family, raising kids, caring for everybody, the typical, I would say at this time, 80s mom, which is probably doing far too much for the entire house, she decided to go back to school. And so she had already graduated, but she had to take a lot of the pre-med and classes that she didn't take when she went, the first time to college. So at this time, I say my older brother, Matt, but I'm, my other siblings as well, but we're going through either, for me, elementary school, middle school, high school, trying to figure out, math, English, history. My mom's taking advanced chemistry, all these pre-med classes, trying to get into med school while doing all these other things. And again, think about this. At 39 is when she went back to pre-med, then gets accepted into med school, does residency. So she's in her early 40s as a woman in the 80s and ready to start her second act. And she became an emergency room doctor, an ER doctor. We called her Dr. Mom. And it was truly inspirational. I remember so many of my friends' parents at that time would tell me, your mom's incredible. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, this is mom. You don't think, I'm a kid. You're just worried about, when's the next game I'm playing? When's the next time I'm going to have fun at recess or lunch? And then as I got older, I realized, wait, she did what? How did she do that? How did she do that? And so she went on to her second act, was a very good doctor. That's what she always wanted to do, care for people. She did that. And truly, truly inspirational. She has set a high bar that I will continue to try to honor her legacy, my brother and I. And at the end, when she was sick the last couple of years, different things are going on. I don't want to get into all that, but I couldn't thank my brother, Matt, my wife, Alva, for, all the extra care and time and love that they showed and cared for her. And, I was doing everybody's doing their part because of such a wonderful, wonderful person and wonderful mother and just role model, really, that she was for me. So I just wanted to talk about her and honor her. And Friday was, it's all been tough, but knowing that she was sick at the end, or had been sick, and to know that she's no longer sick, she made her impact, will continue to make her impact. And for me to help carry on her legacy is truly a blessing and an honor. So just wanted to say that to start the show. We'll get into the normal things that we get to, but I felt I needed to do that. I want to thank you guys for letting me do that. And we will come back. We'll have leading off. We'll have all the regular things. But I just want to say, I love you, Mom.
The only place you'll find